Aura by Holly Hawk. Exterior, Los Angeles, night. Year 2052. Shimmering lights of the few remaining skyscrapers illuminate a dirty puddle and slowly come into focus. The most prominent building has the logo for Nutricore. Other buildings bear the glowing logos of Genexius and ENN. The outskirts of town are broken down and destroyed. A heavy pair of military boots splash through the puddle, breaking the image. Cut to exterior, street on the edge of town. Same. We look up to see Laura wearing a hoodie under a leather jacket, with head down, face obscured, and hands in pockets. Laura Marquez, 30s, lone wolf, bounty hunter on a contract with the global dominant corporation Nutricore. A flunky from the prestigious asset acquisitions program, Laura excels at two things: lying and coercion. Authority issues keep her from rising in the ranks of Nutricore. But she scrapes out a living by bringing in their problem cases. Right now, she is on the hunt. Cut to exterior, alleyway, same. Laura stalks down an alleyway. In front of her, 3 unclaimed street people are clustered around an oil drum. An unsettling blue light comes from the drum. The unclaimed are putting out their hands, sweeping the light from the drum and onto their bodies. They are getting high. 2 of the unclaimed look up and notice Laura approaching. They make some panicked noise and scatter into the darkness, leaving one lone figure with their back to us. Approaching the back of unclaimed one, Laura reaches out a hand and pulls the body around. Unclaimed one has their eyes rolled back into their head. Bright blue veins pop out on their skin and around their mouth. They are high as balls and overdosing on the aura manipulating drug.
Shit.
Laura takes off in the direction of the 2 other unclaimed. She drops the body onto the ground. The twitching body of unclaimed one lies on the ground. We see Laura running into the darkness. Cut to exterior, end of alley. Same. More oil drums with regular colored flames light the alley, broken by the scrambling of human bodies. Figures disappear like mad through an iron gate topped with razor wire. Ty Larson is trying to escape as Laura reached him. She grabs onto his arm and pulls him back into the alley. Ty Larson, 30s, scruffy and homeless looking, struggles in vain to get away from Laura. Ty has the look of pure panic on his face. Laura climbs onto Ty and easily pins him to the ground. Laura is much stronger than she appears. Laura looms over Ty. Her face is beautiful and dispassionate. The firelight glints in her eyes.
Don't fucking move if you want to keep breathing.
Laura turns Ty's head to the side, revealing a barcode tattooed on his neck. Holding Ty's face to the ground, Laura takes an index finger, sheathed with a scanning device, and swipes the code. A screen overlays our vision with a mugshot of Ty, their name, and the words criminal, thief, drug smuggler. Eyes blink, and the screen overlay disappears.
Well, you've been a bad boy, Ty. Very bad. Nutricore is not pleased. You're going to have to come with me.
Laura reaches around to her back pocket and pulls out a pair of glowing handcuffs. Ty struggles underneath Laura, fighting her with all the strength he has.
No, please. You don't understand. You've got to let me go.
Laura wrestles Ty down and gets the handcuffs on him.
You belong to Nutricore. That's who you were assigned to at birth.
Ty is passive and bound under Laura.
And honestly, out of the 3 corporations, Nutricore is not really the worst, as long as you're not stupid and don't steal from them.
Ty's face crumples. He begins to cry.
Please, you don't understand. I did it for my daughter. She's sick. She's dying. Please. She needs me. I can't go in. You can't take me in. I'm all she's got. Please. She's unclaimed. Please.
Laura takes a deep breath in. Something changes within her, which we cannot fully understand. She closes her eyes and climbs off Ty.
Shit.
Laura waves her hand to dismiss Ty.
Just get out of here.
Ty struggles back away from us.
What?
I said, just get out of here.
Laura opens her eyes.
You want me to change my mind?
No.
Ty pulls up to standing and climbs over the wall at the end of the alley. Laura touches the side of her temple. Overlay of screen with Ty's information.
Retrieval unsuccessful.
Retrieval unsuccessful flashes in with the rest of the information. Cut 2. Interior, later that night. Small bedroom in a bordello. Red neon lights glow and fill a small cement-poured room. Dirty moonlight comes in through a window. The lights dance on the skin of Laura's arm and in her eyes. She lies on a bed, jacket off, but otherwise dressed. Fingers from another woman trace down Laura's arm.
Sometimes I wish I was unclaimed.
Behind her, spooning her in her bed, is Aimee, mid-20s, a prostitute who is surviving the hard life with grace. Beautiful and evocative, she is as mysterious as she is empathetic. Aimee rests her chin on Laura's shoulder.
No, don't wish that, baby. It's not a pretty life. You could end up like me, working in some hole like this.
This isn't so bad.
Laura rolls over to Aimee and gives her a deep, lingering kiss. They pull apart, and Aimee has a questioning look on her face.
I can never tell with you.
Tell what?
What you are thinking, what you are feeling. You are so good at lying with your aura, keeping it so neutral.
That's my little gift, I guess.
Isn't it hard, keeping it all inside like that?
Not really. It's easier, actually, for me. Less to feel.
You know this is a safe space, right? No Nutricore officials breathing down your neck here. I've even got extra wards on my room.
Laura stops her with a finger on her mouth.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm here.
Aimee kisses the finger and then the inside of Laura's palm. Aimee looks up, and her irises of her eyes are glowing red. There's a red tinge all around her.
Then let go, baby. I've got you.
Aimee eases Laura back down on the pillows. Laura closes her eyes and begins to hum. Starting with her chest chakra, Laura begins to glow blue.
Hey, there you are.
Aimee leans in and begins to kiss Laura. Aimee deftly takes off Laura's shirt and then moves a hand to undo the button and zipper of Laura's pants. With a hand down Laura's pants, Aimee goes to kiss her belly. The red light from Aimee merges with the blue light of Laura, and we see the purple just in the layer between the two of them. Close up on Laura's eyes turning bright purple as she feels her first wave of ecstasy. Cut 2. Interior, same. Post-sex. Top view. Laura and Aimee lay tangled on the bed. A fan turns lazily overhead. A single cheerful tone dings. Laura touches the side of her temple and then opens her eyes. POV, Laura. An overlay screen appears in view. The image of a put-together, calm woman comes on the screen. This is Ava. Autonomous virtual assistant. She is Laura's contact to Nutricore. Ava's main protocol is to assist and ease transitions in the corporation.
Good morning, Laura. I hope I'm not bothering you.
Laura raises her left arm and flexes her hand inward. The time, 4:35 a.m., appears on her inner wrist. Laura rolls her eyes.
Holy tits, Ava, it is 4 in the fucking morning.
Ava looks in the direction of Aimee.
Is it the fucking morning, Laura?
Laura rolls her eyes and touches her temple.
I'm putting you on hold. Just a sec.
Laura disentangles herself, pulling her arm gently out from under Aimee, who begins to wake up.
Hey, I gotta go. Work.
Aimee shakes her head slightly and smiles. She's a little dazed.
I don't know if that should be on the house or...
Laura taps her inner left wrist. The words, Aimee, repeat payment, ? Appear lit up on her skin. Laura double taps the words. The words turn green and zoom away as if sent. A box over the bed, with the name Aimee on it, lights up green, and there is a ding as the money is received. Laura swings on her leather coat and moves towards the door. Looking straight out, she calls behind to Aimee.
Gracias.
Aimee pulls a blanket closer to her chest.
Anytime. You know I'm always here.
Laura opens the door. There is a cement flight of stairs heading in both directions. She begins to travel down. Laura goes down the stairs and touches her hand to her temple.
Hey, Ava. Sorry about that. I'm on my way. Anything I should know?
POV Laura. Laura continues down the stairs. The overlay of Ava in our view.
The new boss wants to see you. Level 10. I will let him know your estimated time of arrival is 22 minutes.
Laura pauses on the stairs.
Level 10. Is this for a new assignment?
I'm not at liberty to divulge that information, but know that it would be in your best interest to make your way to the office immediately.
Ava smiles and then flickers out. Laura's face hardens.
Carajo.
Cut to. Interior, Nutricorps headquarters. 5 a.m. Early morning sky is reflected in the glass building as Laura opens the door to a corporate building with the name Nutricorps on the wall. As she walks into the lobby, there is a glass wall that lights up with her picture and name. Laura Marquez. A green light of approval fills the wall, and an elevator door opens at the end of the hall. Laura strides into the elevator.
Transporting Laura Marquez to level 10.
Ava lights up on the panel where the elevator buttons would normally be.
Nice hustle. I'll let them know you're here.
The glass elevator moves smoothly and quickly up the side of the building. We follow the elevator up the building and pan over to a small conference room. Laura walks in and sits down at a white table with her back to the wall of windows. A slight tinge of purple light surrounds her. The image of Ava appears on the wall opposite Laura.
He shouldn't be too long. Lots of appointments today.
Laura rolls her eyes. Her aura of purple light increases.
Checking in on everybody, huh?
Ava gives a slight smile.
You should know. Your aura is showing.
Laura, frustrated, closes her eyes and takes a deep breath in and out. As she exhales, the purple light around her fades. The door across from Laura opens. Ava nods and fades out. In walks Roker, early 40s, wearing a navy blue suit. A confident and meticulous man, Roker has been recently promoted to his position as an effort on the part of Nutricorps to clean up the department. He does not trust anyone or anything. He is careful with his words and his actions.
Laura Marquez.
Laura slouches in her chair, sticks a leg out under the table, tries to look cool.
Yeah, that's me.
Roker sits down across from Laura. He folds his hands together and places them on the white table.
Do you know who I am?
You're the new boss man, I take it.
That's right. I've been brought in to clean up this department, find out where the weak links are, eliminate any potential threats to Nutricorps' profitability.
Laura sniffs and adjusts herself in the chair, still acting cool. Roker double taps the table. The name Laura Marquez and a number of digital documents appear. Roker flips through Laura's file.
You paid off your birth debt rather quickly, and even your basic schooling. But then for some reason you thought you would be a good fit for the asset acquisition team.
Roker looks up from the file at Laura.
That was foolish. You must be aware that only 2% of Nutricorps' properties succeed in a profession that they are not assigned.
I'm aware.
Roker turns back to the file.
Authority issues, disorderly conduct.
Roker shakes his head and closes the file, then looks up at Laura.
You were on a run last night.
Every night's a potential run.
But you were on a run last night.
I was.
What happened?
I acquired a target, and then they slipped through my fingers.
Slipped.
Laura sits up in her chair, rising to the bait.
Have you ever been a street runner, sir?
I've not had the pleasure.
Well, sometimes things go sideways.
Roker smiles slightly.
I can only imagine.
Roker taps a small screen on his wrist. A tone sounds. The door opens, and in steps Ty Larson, cleaned up, dressed in a suit similar to Roker, totally corporate. Laura freezes in her chair, realizing that she has been caught in a lie. Ty does not make eye contact with Laura, but stares straight ahead. Roker smiles like a cat that has caught a mouse. He leans in towards Laura.
Let me be very clear, Marquez. Nutricorps is not interested in your humanity.
Laura looks down at the table, a small hint of orange light starts to glow around her.
It is your sole purpose to work towards paying off your lifetime debt to this company. In return, you are given the means to live, food to eat, clothes on your back, housing and health care. That's how the world works, Marquez. And it is my job to ensure that you are fulfilling your obligations to Nutricore. Do we understand one another?
Laura clenches her fists under the table. She inhales and exhales, releases her fists. The orange light disappears. Laura looks up and makes full, calm eye contact with Roker.
It is my privilege to be indebted to Nutricore.
Roker stands to leave.
I suggest you go home, Marquez. Get some rest. We will talk again shortly.
Roker gestures to dismiss Ty. The door opens and Ty exits. Roker turns to leave. Laura stands quickly, breaking protocol. For the first time, we see a glimmer of Laura's fear.
You're letting me keep my contract.
Roker pauses at the door.
I advise you not to disappoint us again, Marquez. Our failures have a certain way of disappearing.
Roker begins to walk out of the room with a smirk, throwing the words back at her.
Although I'm sure you know all about that, don't you?
The door closes. Laura stands at the table, stunned. Ava lights up on the wall opposite Laura.
Well, that could have gone better. I trust you will now be going home to get some much-needed sleep, Laura?
Laura snaps back to reality. She strides out of the room as she pops the collar of her leather jacket.
Who's got time to sleep around here?
Cut to interior, witches live/workspace, 7 a.m. A small brass bell is over the door and dings as Laura enters the room carrying a bag of groceries. The room is dimly lit and filled with tables stacked with books and crystals. Dried herbs hang from the ceiling. This is the least technological space that we have seen so far. A half wall divides the room from the kitchen, where there is a steaming pot of something cooking on the stove. Laura walks over to an altar that adorns the left wall, where there are many lit candles. She lights a fresh candle and mouths some sort of prayer. There is a shuffling from the back, and Laura turns to see Baba come into the room. A small smile lights up Laura's eyes. Baba, 50s, is a witch. She has wisdom etched into her face and carries herself with the confidence of someone who has seen it all. Baba wades through the room towards Laura.
Staying out of trouble, my bubble?
Laura puts her hand out, feigning innocence. Baba grabs Laura's chin, turns her face to the right and left, then drops her hands at her side. Baba grabs the bag of groceries out of Laura's hand, turns and makes her way towards the boiling pot in the kitchen.
Want some soup?
Laura follows Baba with apologetic hands.
No, that's all right. It's fine, really.
Baba looks over to the pot where she's ladling soup into a wooden bowl.
Don't you try to lie to Baba, girl. I see you. I see right through you.
Laura relents and pulls out a chair to sit at one of the tables piled full of books. A cat who is sleeping on the chair jumps out of the way with an offended meow. Laura sits in the chair and pushes some of the books out of the way. Baba plants the wooden bowl of soup and a wooden spoon in front of Laura.
Eat, eat.
Baba pulls out another chair and sits. She pulls a pipe from a satchel around her waist.
You mind?
Laura shakes her head no and begins to eat her soup. After the first bite, Laura realizes how hungry she really is and starts shoveling the soup into her face. Baba lights the pipe and blows a cloud of smoke into the air. There's a comfortable silence between the two women, as if they've done this 1,000 times before.
This is early for you.
Laura continues to eat and says nothing.
You smell like...
Laura looks up from her soup.
The office?
Baba takes another drag on her pipe and blows more smoke into the air.
Fear.
Laura scowls.
Not like you.
Laura picks up the bowl and drinks the rest of the soup. She places the bowl down and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. She leans her elbows on the table.
I'm in trouble this time. I need a spell. Something that will dampen my aura and my empathy.
Baba takes another drag of the pipe and rearranges some things on the table. She flicks her eyes up at Laura.
It's going to hurt. You are not going to like it.
I can handle the pain.
Baba shakes her head and puts her pipe down. She leans in.
Not just the pain of the spell, The pain of being disconnected.
Laura sighs and closes her eyes.
That's just gonna have to be my burden to bear. If I lose my contract, I won't be able to support the people I love. Then where will we be?
Laura reaches out a hand and places it on Baba's.
Can you help me?
Baba flashes a knowing grin and hops up from her chair with surprising zest.
Let's get cracking. Ha! You are really going to appreciate those muscle relaxers I slipped into your soup.
Laura looks down at her bowl and up at Baba.
What?
Baba just cackles. Fade to interior, witch's live/workspace. Moments later. Laura lies naked, stomach down on a massage table. Her face is propped up on her hands. She's surrounded by candles and crystals. Baba is mixing a white paste in a mortar. She's humming an old tune. Baba takes a vial of liquid and pours it from high up into the mortar. She stirs the liquid into the paste while mouthing an incantation that we cannot fully hear. Baba walks over to Laura and places a hand on Laura's shoulder.
Ready?
Yes.
Baba closes her eyes and lifts the mortar into the air.
Ancestors, old ones, spirits of the earth, fill this vessel with wisdom. Grant me your power.
The liquid in the mortar begins to glow. Baba lowers the mortar so it lights up her face. Laura looks over her shoulder with nervous anticipation. Baba dips a paintbrush into the glowing liquid and begins to paint a giant symbol on Laura's back while humming an ancient tune. Laura winces as the liquid first hits her back. It is almost like she's getting a tattoo. She sets her jaw.
Breathe. Breathe.
Baba hums and paints until the symbol is complete. Baba puts down the mortar and holds her hands over Laura's back.
Seal, seal, my work be done. Seal, seal, my work be done.
The symbol begins to glow hot white. Laura tries not to thrash around as she screams through her clenched teeth. Then, in an instant, it is over. The symbol disappears into Laura's skin. Clear liquid runs off Laura's back. All is calm. Laura's passed out on the table. Baba pulls a blanket over her and strokes her hair.
Sleep, sleep, my bubble. Baba will protect you. You are a strong girl, a beautiful girl. No one will know. It will be our secret.
Cut to exterior, same street as opening. Later that night. The shimmering lights of the skyscrapers twinkle behind Laura as she stalks down the street with her hands in the pockets of her leather jacket. The logo for Nutricore is prominently seen on one of the skyscrapers, over her shoulder. Laura has a harder look to her. As Laura approaches the alleyway full of unclaimed, she does not waste her time with any of them. The unclaimed move like water away from her. Laura walks right up to one of the unclaimed and turns them around forcibly. It is Ty Lander, back undercover in his homeless getup. Overlay of information on Ty, same as scene 1, thief, danger, etc. Ty has a look of deep shock on his face. The other unclaimed freeze where they are in a circle around Laura and Ty. They instinctively know something is different. Laura yanks Ty around in a circle.
It appears you have a traitor in your midst.
Marquez, what are you doing? You know who I am.
Yes, I do.
Laura rips off one of Ty's sleeve to reveal a glowing tattoo of Nutricore's logo. There's a collective gasp and reaction from the street people.
What are you?
Laura pulls out a gun with lit LED sides. She points the gun at Ty.
Nutricore is not interested in your humanity.
Please.
The
Please.
street people circle in closer.
And neither are we.
Laura pulls the trigger. A gunshot is heard. Laura looks down at Ty, whose blood is beginning to seep all over the ground. There's the overlay of Ty's information. Success in green flashes at the bottom of the overlay. Laura stands with the gun at her side, surrounded by the street people. Cut to black. Finn.